So I want you guys to turn to your elbow partners and talk about what was the hardest thing for you while you were writing. Turn to your elbow partner, say howdy again. Did you have anything to say on the book? Let Vinny say anything. Okay. So what was the hardest thing about writing this paragraph? Was it easy? Thumbs up if it was easy. Put your thumb in the middle if it was just okay, and then thumbs down if it was pretty hard. Easy, easy. I can't tell if that's up. Okay. Middle, middle. Okay, middle. So what was easy about it? People who had their thumbs up, what was easy? Wait, what?
Wrote part of it down already.
Okay, so what do you mean you wrote part of it down already?
We wrote quotes and we started to go through another report about.
Okay, so it really helps to have your thoughts written down already, like in a chart, so it helps to write it. Okay. Anyone else who thought it was easy? Want to talk about why it was easy? Okay, what about those who had their thumbs in the middle? What was kind of difficult about it? Yeah, Jamal.
I mean, it was pretty easy, but the only hard thing about it was the transition.
Transitions? Okay, what was difficult? Just like figuring out what word to use, or?
Well, like when you go from the direct quote and then to the second half of it, it was sort of hard for me to figure out what word to use.
Okay, so like if you're talking about what Jonas is like in the first half, and then you have a quote, and then you're not sure what you're saying, you're not sure what transition word to use in between the quote and your analysis. Okay, so let's take a look at the transition words actually. Okay, so the first one is to help you introduce your evidence. Okay, so if I'm at the part where I've already talked about what's happened, you know, for background information that's leading into the quote that I'm about to use, I might choose one of these words to start off my sentence, okay? So I could say, to illustrate on page blah, 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 Jonas says this, and then I would put the quote, right? So that's how you would use that to introduce your evidence, okay? For this one, you would use when you're trying to compare things that are similar, okay? So you could say, just for example, my shirt is black. Similarly, Alex's sweatshirt is black, right? Makes sense. The next section is to contrast things that are different. So that might be sort of helpful when you're comparing what Jonas is like at the first half of the book and what he's like in the second half of the book. So that could be a good way for you to transition in between when you're talking about how, maybe you're saying that he's honest at the beginning, right? So you talk about how he's honest, and then you could pick one of these words. You could say, however, in the second half of the book, Jonas is dishonest, and then go into talking about your evidence that you're using, right? Okay. Cause, maybe that could be where, Jamal, maybe that could be where you could put the transition word for in between your quote and your analysis. Okay. Effect, so maybe if something affects something, so you put in your quote, right? And then you're like, I don't know what word I could use to put in for my analysis. You could say, therefore, Jonas is honest because in this section of the book, he tells his parents everything that he dreams about, right? That shows that he's honest. So that's your analysis. And then for conclusion, you could use one of these words to start off the last sentence of your paragraph, right? So in conclusion, Jonas at the beginning of the book is honest. At the end of the book, he's dishonest, right? So those are just some words. I mean, I don't expect you guys to be completely perfect at this because we haven't really talked about this, but it might be nice for you to try, okay? And you have your notes with you, so it'll be easy. It will be easier. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is okay. What else? Disbelief. giving us examples of diversity?
With the mayors and
The mayor, so like politicians, right? Alright, what else?
He says how, not affirmative action, you know, he says, I think this was,
for example.
Examples here? Where?
For example, religion is opportunity.
Thank you, Yumara.
Examples? Alright, what else? What is he giving us here? Right here. You had me highlight this whole section. Why is this important?
I'm on the front page still.
Is it giving you a back?
Okay, facts. Okay, what kind of facts?
He's giving us facts about like black people, why we always get stopped, kind of like whites feel about us,
About discrimination. Okay.
discriminating us because of our skin color.
Alright, but why, what's the point of him giving us these facts? Because there's a reason.
Trying to persuade us to make us believe that it's true.
Okay, but what's the reason though? What does this say? All of these complaints warrant our attention, but none of them, no matter how true, justifies a suspension of that warranty that I talked about.
I'm not gonna say something like that, but I was reading recently some a little
Comic?
picture.
Yeah. What's the comic saying?
Affirmative action.
Yeah.
The boy being blamed on what his uncle did 50 years ago.
Okay, yeah, so what is the point of that? Hmm? What's the point of the comic?
She's trying to make us. She's trying to.
It's just trying to say like, because you're affirmation.
That you're gonna get in trouble too.
So what is he saying, what is that saying in application to affirmative action though? So if he's saying that people shouldn't get in trouble because of stuff that happened a long time ago, what is he saying about affirmative action? What's the point of
That is
including that
dumb.
comment? Why? Why is it dumb?
Because basically he got in trouble for something his uncle did 50 years ago.
So who's getting in trouble because of affirmative action?
The kid, the kid, she's getting suspended. He's getting suspended from school from.
Mara, what
At
is
the
it?
time, anyone who said stuff.
Anyone? So who is affirmative what is he saying affirmative, why is affirmative action is bad, first of all? Why is
Because
that?
he got in trouble. He gets suspended from school.
Who's getting in trouble because of affirmative
Alex.
action?
His name is Alex.
Okay, so affirmative action is what? What is affirmative action? Let's review. What is it?
Policy favoring members of disadvantaged groups who are perceived to suffer from discrimination.
Okay, so if we are accepting people into college because of their race, how does that negatively affect other people?
They don't have the same opportunities as others.
Who does it?
The other races.
Like who?
Blacks.
No, he's saying
Latinos,
black people get into college
Spanish,
because of their race.
Bolitos, Jamaicans,
Latinos also get into college because of their race.
Jamaicans, whites,
Whites.
Indians.
He's saying white people are not getting into college because of their race. That's what he's saying. He's saying that affirmative action makes it so that colleges are giving advantages to people who are minorities. What about the white people? That's what he's saying. What about people who are majorities? What about people who it doesn't help them? Right. So how does this connect? How does this comment connect to affirmative action? Yeah, affirmative action only helps certain groups. But why are like people who are majorities, like why are people who are white getting into trouble?
Because blacks don't like white people at that time.
Right. So what happened a long time
Slavery.
ago, 50 years ago?
White folks.
White people took over.
We were
White people
slaves.
took away rights from black people. White people took away rights from Native
Africans.
Indians. But is that happening now?
No,
But what's happening? White people are still getting in trouble.
because
That's
they're
what he's
gonna act
saying.
like us.
That's what he's saying. He's saying white people should not get in trouble for stuff that white people in the past did. That's what he's saying.
Is that like
Well, it's a comic. I
reading
What's
the
the-
comments.
Is there evidence? Evidence.